guys, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna be talking about my recent read, which was The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. So The Flatshare was one of the books that my sister's chosen for me for my June TBR, and going into it I was really scared because I normally don't tend to enjoy or in general pick up romance. There is a very small percentage of romance books that I've picked up that I actually enjoyed and I thought that were done well. So I was really scared when I was going into it, just thinking that I'm not gonna like it, and I must say that I was positively surprised. This book is a dual perspective story. We follow Tiffy, who's an eccentric. She's just broken up with her long-term boyfriend. They used to live together, so now she needs to find a place to live. Also, she's a junior editor in a really small publishing company, so her pay is not great. So she's looking for some place cheap but also that can fit all her clothes and all of her junk, and she finds an ad online in which Leon, which is the other main character that we follow, who's looking for a flatmate who will be living in this flat and in his bed essentially all evenings and weekends because he's a night nurse. Tiffy then decides to move in with Leon and share the apartment. They basically swap the apartment, so Leon has it during daytime between 9 and 5 p.m. and Tiffy has it all of the rest of the time. The concept for this book was super 21st century. I think what the author managed to achieve with this book was the reality of living in London, how ridiculously expensive everything is, especially when it comes to renting a flat or renting even a room in a shared accommodation. Me, as a person who lives in London, I could really relate to that. But still, the concept of a woman basically sharing a bed with a strange man was really weird for me at the beginning, but then I had to kind of distance myself from it. This was not the most demanding read I've ever read. It was really light, it was really fluffy and really sweet, but it was so entertaining at the same time. As I mentioned, I really loved how O'Leary portrayed London, and she managed to capture the essence of living in London within these 400 plus pages. I think that was done really well. I actually myself live close to where the apartment is, so I understood like all these little bits and pieces, such as the fox problem and just like random weirdos being around, and even things like taking a cab from one place to another. People don't do it in here unless you are a tourist or you are a millionaire. You don't take a cab anywhere. They're too damn expensive. I think this part was really great in here. I love the slow beginning of the romance. It started off more like a friendly friendship kind of thing because the two, obviously they've never met, they don't see each other even because they work on 2 different shifts and they are at the apartment at different timings. But the way that they communicate with each other with post-its, it was so cute and was really fun to follow. I really enjoyed these beginning stages, and I was kind of disappointed that this kind of post-it notes communication didn't last for longer. I was actually really surprised that not even halfway through the story they actually get to meet in person. So that was a little disappointing for me because I just wanted them to keep going with the post-it notes communication. That was really fun to read and to see. But anyways, the subplots, Tiffy and Leon, they each have a subplot, and Tiffy is dealing with an abusive ex-boyfriend. He's essentially harassing her and stalking her. He just appears whenever she goes and begs her to come back to him. Her dealing with his harassment and with being just recently out and getting over such an abusive relationship, it was really cool to watch. I think it was written well, and I was really interested to see how things will turn out in the end. And then on the other hand, we have Leon's subplot, which is essentially that Leon's brother is in prison for a crime he did not commit. So Leon's trying hard to get his brother out of prison. This bit was also super interesting. I think Leon's brother Richie, he was such a fun character to watch, even though we don't really see him in person because he's always in prison. He was such a warm character. He was just like a walking hug. He was so nice and so sweet all the time. Really enjoyed learning more about him and his backstory. But what surprised me the most in this book, and something that I really appreciated, was the writing. The way O'Leary wrote this book, it felt like watching a romantic comedy. I really flew through it and really enjoyed my time with this book. I was really surprised that I'm actually gonna enjoy something like this, but again, it felt just like watching a romantic comedy, which is something that I really enjoy. And I think after finishing some really heavy books in the past few weeks, I really needed something that's light-hearted and really sweet and cute, and that was all I could have asked for. My only criticism towards this book is how romance overtakes in the second half of the story. At the beginning, the kind of slow burning romance and getting to know each other was a little on the back burner, but now in the kind of halfway point, we kind of focus fully on the romance, and that was a little bit too much for me. Still did enjoy it, but also what I disliked in here, at the beginning of the story, you have this very cliche statements or ways of describing people who are suggestively eccentrics, and the word that they're using is quirky, and it just drives me crazy. It makes my blood boil. Honestly, I don't like the word quirky, especially used for characters such as Tiffy, who is a bright person who loves bright colors, who mix different items of clothing, and he doesn't really care about fashion and what is trendy right now. The word for this kind of person is eccentric. I really dislike the word quirky, so that was kind of my pet peeve in there. Overall, this story was super solid and super surprising for me, that I actually really liked. Definitely would recommend the Flatshare, even if you don't tend to like romance, even if you normally think fluffy romance is not your thing. This one was definitely something different and something really fun to follow, and not only because of the romance bit, but also because of the other bits of the story. I really enjoyed it. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think it was a very solid romance / contemporary read, and probably my favorite romance that I've ever read. So yeah, really enjoyed this and definitely highly recommend it for all you skeptics out there. Okay guys, so this is all I have to say about The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. Let me know down below in the comments if you've read this book and if you agree with my thoughts and comments about this book. And definitely let me know what are some other books that are similar to this one that I might enjoy. Thank you guys for sticking around and for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for some more bookish content. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye!